Welcome to today's Mission Driven Advisor call. Let's go to work. Today is our lesson about beginning your year right. How do you begin and create the greatest year of your life? And really this applies what I call the law of creation. The law of creation is how to actualize and manifest and create the greatest year of your life and understanding the components to it. The law of creation states, I create my own reality through choice, thought, word, and action. I create my own reality through choice, choosing to create a powerful reality, thinking it, speaking it, and acting on it. I create my own reality through choice, thought, word, and action. And why is this important? Because as we end one year and open another, becoming clear about what worked and what didn't, and becoming complete about those things, doing more of what worked, and learning the lessons from what didn't work, helps you be clear and become complete, which is vital to the greatest upcoming year of your life. If you don't acknowledge what was accomplished in the previous year, it diminishes your past success, so they can't be fully enjoyed. And if you intend on setting higher goals in the upcoming year, incompletions, things that didn't work, trigger a repetition of those past negative things that didn't work. Okay? The unresolved conflicts undermine the New Year's productivity, and you don't want that to happen. And most people rarely do the kind of exercise we're going to do today, and it's an interactive exercise. And so what I'm going to ask you to do, as always, be in your training portal. If you're not in your training portal, go in now, because we're going to be doing an interactive exercise in about a minute, and I'm going to give you a little run-up into the value of it. Most people rarely do the kind of exercise that completes what worked and what didn't work, learning from what didn't work, and celebrating what did. And therefore, we're destined to repeat the incompletions and conflicts. So it's these insights that make today's interactive exercise one of the most powerful gifts that you can give yourself. It will help you reflect, assess, and acknowledge yourself and your life from a place of honesty, self-care, and self-love, and it will also set the stage for envisioning and mapping out the right goals and action plan to experience your best upcoming year. And that's what it's about in this lesson. Okay? So what I want you to do is get into today's lesson, which is completion and co-creation. And if you scroll down in the lesson, you'll see where it says remembering and completing last year. And I'm just going to ask you to do this interactively. Now, here's the way I want you to do it, okay? I want you to just do it in what I call the flow of consciousness. I don't want you to really have to effort to think about this. Just imagine that all these truths are already sitting over you right now, as if they're just an inch above your body. And that by me asking the question is going to create a powerful intention for you to bring that answer down, and it will just flow into your consciousness. I'm just going to ask you to write what comes in. I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to give about a 10-second blank for it to drop in. You write in your answer. So I'm going to pause for another 10 seconds, give you about 20 seconds in between each one. We're going to go through completing last year and creating the new year. So we'll get a sense of completion and creation for the upcoming year. Okay? What we're going to then do is we're going to wind up doing a set of goals for this year, and I'm going to take you through a really powerful goal-setting exercise just to make this a very, very powerful lesson for each and every one of you. Number one, what was your biggest triumph last year? What was your biggest win? What was your biggest triumph last year? Number two, what was the smartest decision you made last year? What was the smartest decision you made last year? Number 3, what was the greatest lesson you learned last year? What was the greatest lesson you learned last year? Number 4, what was the most loving service you performed last year? What was the most loving service you performed last year? Number 5, what is your biggest piece of unfinished business from last year? What is your biggest piece of unfinished business from last year? Number 6, what are you most happy about completing last year? What are you most happy about completing last year? Number 7, who are the 3 people that had the greatest impact on your life last year? Who are the 3 people that had the greatest impact on your life last year? Number 8, what was the biggest risk you took last year? What was the biggest risk you took last year? Number 9, what was the biggest surprise last year? What was your biggest surprise last year? Number 10, what important relationship improved the most last year? What important relationship improved the most last year? Number 11, what compliment would you have liked to receive last year? What compliment would you have liked to receive from last year? What compliment would you have liked to receive last year? Number 12, what compliment would you have liked to give last year? What compliment would you have liked to give last year? Number 13, what one word best sums up and describes your year last year? What one word best sums up and describes your experience of last year. Number 14. What else do you need to do or say to be complete with last year? What else do you need to do or say to be complete with last year? And to number 14, I have a couple suggestions, okay? Number 5 question was, what was your biggest piece of unfinished business from last year? If it's unfinished, maybe you need to do something or say something to complete it, okay? Question 14 was, what do you need to do or say to be complete with last year? Well, number 5 showed up a biggest piece of unfinished business for you. What might that have been, okay? Also, what compliment would you like to have given last year? Okay, maybe it was to a leader in your company. Maybe it was to somebody else in your company. Maybe it's to somebody that works for you. Maybe that's a piece of unfinished business. Okay, I want you to look at that. Is that a compliment you should give? According to question 12, what compliment would you like to have given? Okay. To question 5, is that something you need to complete, that piece of unfinished business? If it is, when? What do you need to do or say, and when would you want to complete it? This is really important for you to understand, so just take another 10 seconds to reflect on that. Okay, and remember that you can always come back to this. This lesson is for you in the portal. It's always there. You can always come back to it. If there's something you were incomplete on, and pretty much everybody first go round here, you might need a little more reflection time. You have plenty of time. But chances are, much like the game Trivial Pursuit, if any of you remember that, usually going with your gut, going with your intuition, going with your first answer is probably right. Okay? Now let's move forward. Let's create your best year ever. Number 1. What would you like your biggest triumph to be this year? What would you like to be your biggest triumph this year? Biggest triumph this year. Number 2, what advice would you like to give yourself this year? What advice would you like to give yourself this year? Number 3, what key strategy do you plan on implementing to improve your financial results this year? What key strategy do you plan on implementing to improve your financial results this year? Number 4, what would you be most happy about completing this year? What would you be most happy about completing this year? Number 5, what major indulgence are you willing to experience this year? What major indulgence are you willing to give yourself and experience this year? Number 6, what would you most like to change about yourself this year? What would you most like to change about yourself this year? Number 7, what are you looking forward to learning this year? What are you looking forward to learning this year? Number 8, what do you think your biggest risk will be this year? What do you think your biggest risk will be this year? Number 9, what are you committed to changing and improving in your business this year? What are you committed to changing and improving in your business this year? Number 10, what is one undeveloped talent you are willing to explore this year? What is one undeveloped talent you are willing to explore this year? Number 11, what brings you great joy? And how are you going to do or have more of it this year? What brings you great joy? And how are you going to do or have more of it this year? Number 12, who or what, other than yourself, are you most committed to loving and serving this year? Who or what, other than yourself, are you most committed to loving and serving this year? And number 13, what one word would you like to have as your theme this year? What one word would you like to have as your theme this year? Now, some of you may not have been clear. We just asked 27 questions, okay? And some of you may not have gotten clarity around every single one of them. No worries. Don't submit yet. And if you do, that's okay. That just lets me and your coaches see what you wrote in there. But most importantly, if you want to go back, please do. You can take your time with this. What we wanted to do was make sure you at least got an experience of it. So when you go back another time, you can really look at what the greatest lesson was or what you want your 1 year theme to be this upcoming year. So no worries, no fears about that, but you at least have a set of what you want. You have a completion, what you need to do and be to be complete about last year, and what you are seeking to create to move forward with having the greatest year of your life upcoming in this new year. Now, to that end, we want to really help you get clear about the understanding of the power of setting really great goals. And many people that I see, I do meetings like this all over the country for insurance agencies and equity agencies and money management firms and a lot of different success-driven companies, and I see so many limiting beliefs around goals. And what I want you to do is really understand why goals are so important. You know, the great coach Tony Robbins says, all great things begin with a goal to achieve it. All great things begin with a goal to achieve it. All greatness is preceded by a clear goal followed by a committed plan of action. But the truth is most people don't have them. And I want to tell you why. Now I have a really comprehensive webinar that I did on goal setting that, of course, any of you can go into the training portal under resources and webinars and look at that goal setting webinar. I'll tell you it's excellent. I go in and look at it myself occasionally so that in setting my new goals each year, I'm reminded about the limiting beliefs about goals and the limiting beliefs about money. And the limiting beliefs about goals, pretty much they're fourfold. Okay? Number one, goal setting isn't important and doesn't work. Okay? That's a lie of the ego, right? Which eases goals out, EGO. Number two, I don't need to because I'm beyond it. You know, I've evolved beyond setting goals. By the way, when someone says that they just set a goal to be goalless, everybody accomplishes that when they don't have one. Okay, that's how ridiculous it is. That goals are limiting. You know, they limit me. I once heard a high-level success coach say that if you set the thermostat at 70 degrees, how can it ever go higher? Which is ridiculous. The answer is you reset it anytime you want. You can always exceed your goals. Okay, but you want to make sure of setting a great goal, and we will tell you the components of that today. The fourth limiting belief about goals is that I never seem to hit them, so why bother? And the reason people don't hit their goals is because of a great truth that has been clinically proven about human beings and using money as a motivator. And here's the bottom line of that. Researchers at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, the University of Chicago, and Carnegie Mellon University did an extensive clinical study on the effects of using money as a motivator. They found, interestingly, that when a financial reward was given for work that required only a mechanical, repetitive task done by one individual, money worked as a motivator. So if you're somebody like a mailman and you're working all day long by yourself and all you got to do is look at a piece of mail and put it in the right mailbox and then repeat, money can motivate you, right? But when the financial reward was offered for work that required communication with other people, relationship, adaptive thinking, and building with other people, creative, spontaneous thinking, on the spot, which is everything you do. It's all about relationship building. It's all about creative thinking. It's all about spontaneous adaptational thinking and communication with people. Money paralyzed performance. And the problem in the financial services industry that every one of you are in is you are taught to set financial goals that are all about you. And guess what happens if this study is correct? And it is. My own experience over 22 years as a life coach proved the same thing, that when the goal is only a personal income goal, it puts you in a paralyzed state. Okay? So what we want to be able to do is recognize this paradox. The advisor's goal paradox is that you realize that you must have goals because anyone knows a business plan is weak if it doesn't have a destination and a direction, right? But you've been taught to set only monetary goals, thinking they'll motivate you, but they instead have an oppositional, paralyzing effect. So what is the truth about a goal, okay? What we want to do is really create goals that matter. And let's understand that a great goal has three characteristics and a caveat. The first characteristic, and I know you're taking notes here, okay? It must be purposeful. It must be purposeful. It must be something that builds your self-love, self-esteem, and self-care because it makes you feel important. You're doing something important for another because the thing you're doing is purposeful. It is purpose that increases production. Purpose inspires and motivates disciplined work and production. Okay, so the first thing about the goal is purposeful. What Dan Pink in the book Drive, The Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us, discovered, he was part of the clinical study. And he found that people are motivated by three things. Purpose, number one. I just explained why. Number two, mastery. We want to become masters. That's what soul purpose is all about. So we want to master something. Mastery takes 10,000 hours. That's 5 years, 45 weeks a year, 45 hours a week. Okay? So you know what mastery takes of a repetitive task. Finally, autonomy. The three things that really motivate people. Purpose, mastery, autonomy. Purpose number one, to master something and stay with it so that you live free. Everybody seeks to live in freedom. That's autonomy. You have a career where discipline is freedom, paradoxically. The whole point of Hard Easy is that discipline, if you're willing to do what's hard and master your soul purpose, you will live the freest, happiest, healthiest, and wealthiest life. But when you're setting a goal, it begins with purpose. It energizes and excites you. It connects you to a sense of power and passion. It sets up the first part of the goal so that you're inspired by doing it every day. You wake up and you go, yes! My purpose goal is teaching love-driven leadership. I love it. I love it. That's my yes, okay? So it's my purpose. What's your purpose? We'll do that in a second. What's the second characteristic of a great goal? It's specific. It's pragmatic. It's grounded and detailed so you know exactly what you're going for and you'll know when it's done. It's logical, right? It's using logic to determine that the goal can be achieved, and this is where your intellect, once you have the right specific goal, that's pragmatic and logical, the intellect will affirm another yes. So we get a yes from spirit because of the purpose. Then we get a second yes from logic because it's pragmatically right on, okay? And third, it's scary. It's scary, it's not comfortable because achieving the goal would require us to grow and to change. It requires personal evolution. And here is precisely where the roadblock called ego jumps out and screams, hell no. So the caveat is that you must turn scary goals into safe goals or they will be avoided. The first characteristic of the goal is purpose. When we have the right purpose, we get a yes from spirit. The second is pragmatic, that it's grounded and specific, and we get a yes from our scientific, logical self. The third piece is we're going to expect resistance from the reptilian brain because the fear brain always runs fight or flight. This is why when you get a yes, yes, hell no, it's a great decision. You're getting a yes from spirit and intuition. You're getting a yes from logic and intellect. And the ego hates change, resists change, because it sees change as life-threatening. Life-threatening. So we're seeking for you to understand these three characteristics. We want you to set a goal that when you look at it, you get a yes, purpose, spirit. You get a yes, profit and intellect. And you get a hell no because it scares me, and you understand the caveat will help you turn the scary goals into safe goals because you're willing to get support. And that's why you're in this program. We're supporting you in getting a yes, yes, hell no, and understanding the components. What does it take to make a great decision? And that's what we want you to understand, that when you get a yes from spirit and intuition, when you get a yes from the logical, intellectual brain, and the fear brain ripples resistance in your body. Hell no, I don't want to declare that. That's when you have a great goal. Okay? You want to get a yes, yes, hell no. Your spirit and your intuition are saying yes, right? You're getting a threefold response around this goal. Okay? I intuitively sense I can do this. Yes, right? Then an intellectual yes. I know I can systematize a plan that can do this. Yes. And then hell no. The thought of publicly declaring this goal and committing to it, to my staff, to my spouse, to myself, to my team, scares me. Why? Because it's going to require me to practice hard easy. It's going to require me to be disciplined, and yet the hard will make my life easy. That discipline will lead to the greatest freedom I've ever known. That's why yes, yes, hell no is the sign of a great goal and a great decision. It's a master coaching skill that I'm teaching you today that I'm going to reinforce over and over in some of the rest of this upcoming year throughout the rest of our learning and deepening our enrollment process. So let's identify your heartfelt why. Now this is something you should already know, but I want you to write it down real clearly in one sentence. We're going to take 10 seconds. I'm going to give you a couple examples. I told you, my why, my heartfelt, intuitive, spiritual goal is that I love teaching love-driven leadership. Once people understand love-driven leadership, they will always have a connection to God. They'll always be able to ask God, God, what would love do now? And they'll never be stumped with making a great decision ever again about their family, about their business, about their personal life, about their social life. So that's my heartfelt why. What's yours? I want to ask you this question. I want you to, again, just like we did in the co-creation and completion exercise, I want you to allow my question to bring down from your higher self, from your God self, the answer. Beyond earning money, when you're meeting with your clients or prospects, why are you there? Besides earning money, when you're meeting with your clients or your prospects, why are you there? What are you there to do? Let it drop in. Write it down. You're writing it down. It should be somewhere between 10 and no more than 10, 25 words. No less than 10, no more than 25. And I want it to be more than help people or create value, okay? We've given you that. You know that. It should be something like this. I'll give you 4 of them. It should be something like, I feel great helping people achieve financial certainty in an uncertain world. I feel great helping people achieve financial certainty in an uncertain world. Here's another one. I'm inspired every day to change people's conversation about money from one of worry and fear to one of confidence and peace. I'm inspired every day to change people's conversation around money from one of worry and fear to one of peace and confidence. Okay, we're getting your purpose. Okay? Here's another one. I love helping clients identify and resolve their financial conflicts so they live a more peaceful and prosperous life. I love helping clients identify and resolve their financial conflicts and contradictions so they live a more peaceful and prosperous life. One of my clients who's a manager and a GA says, my wow, right, his wow, is helping people fulfill their hidden potential. My wow, right, quote unquote wow, right, it's what jazzes him about life, is helping people fulfill their hidden potential. Okay? So now you've got a purpose goal. You've got an intuitive, a spiritual goal. This purpose is the difference you're trying to make in the world. It's got nothing to do with profit. It's got to do with legacy, your personal soul purpose, beyond currency. Okay? You got it. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. We want to do the 80% right solution here. right? Remember that having a good 80% correct purpose goal puts you 95% of the rest ahead of the rest of the advisors in the world who don't have one. Okay? Now we want to do identifying your second yes. You got a yes around purpose. Now we want a yes around a specific dollar amount goal for you. Okay? I want you to start by writing down your minimum earnings goal. Right? Think about what you earned last year. Okay? Let's say you earned $100,000. And let's say now your minimum earnings goal would be 120. Okay? What's your minimum earnings goal? Write it down. Fairly easy. Okay? Now, I want you to write down your crazy high maximum, oh my God, if I made this much money this year, it would be amazing goal. Okay? So if it was 100 last year and your minimum was 120 this year, you would want to write 300,000. Okay? To triple your income in a year, would that be good? Yeah, that'd be great, right? For those of you that did 250 last year, it might be 500,000 or 600,000. Okay? You're writing down your maximum, whoa, crazy high goal. Okay? And now finally, determine your medium earnings goal. So if it was 100 and the crazy high was 300, obviously it would be 200, right? Be something like that. You've got goals 1, 2, 3, a minimum, a maximum, and a medium. Now, here's the key. Ready? Clear your mind. Take a nice deep breath through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Here's the question. Don't look at any of them yet. Here's the question. Again, in flow, in your God self, connected to Spirit, connected to God. Which do you really, really get a yes, yes, hell, no about when you look at? Okay? Which one gives you a yes, yes, hell, no? Yes, I can intuitively accomplish this. It feels right. Yes, I can run a plan to do this and a process scientifically and logically every day. Yes. And number 3, the thought of publicly declaring that one freaks me out because it's big. You got to get a yes, yes, hell, no around the goal, or guess what? It's wrong. It's not the right goal for you. Now, look at your page. Which one of those 3? Which one do you go, yep, ooh, yep, not really. Like the minimum earnings goal probably doesn't make you go, hell no. I know mine doesn't, ever. Because the great you wants to play big. Now, it may not be the crazy high goal. It may be that medium goal. Are you getting a yes, yes, hell, no around the medium goal? If you are, think about it this way. Would you have a resistance to declare it in front of the whole agency? But do you also know that intuitively you can do it? Do you know logically, intellectually you can do it? That's a yes, yes, hell, no. Circle which goal is yours right now, please. Excellent. Now, let's get clear. We got clear about your purpose goal. Okay? We got clear about your profit goal. Right? Your purpose goal is the heartfelt help you offer to your community. Right? I help people change the conversation around money and love doing it from one of worry and fear to one of peace and confidence. Yes. Right? That's my heartfelt service. You got that. Now you got a profit goal. How much money do you ideally want to make for yourself and your family this year? If you don't get a yes, yes, hell, no, that is your homework. Okay? Now we want to get a people goal. Okay? Because it's all about people. You know people are assets. How many families do you ideally want to serve over the next year? How many families do you ideally want and know you need to serve to really, again, get a yes, yes, hell, no? How about all 3? Purpose, is it a yes, yes, hell, no? Excellent. Profit, is it a yes, yes, hell, no? Excellent. How many people? Mine's 200, so yours might be 40, it might be 50. Some of you might be 80. Others might be 20. The key is it's got to give you a yes, yes, hell no. When I think about yes intuitively, 200 is right for me. Intellectually, it's right for me. And does it scare me? You're darn right it does. It requires me to evolve, to play out of my comfort zone, to be a better leader. It does. I'm sharing with you the human nature we all share together so you can understand you're doing the same kind of goal setting with your clients and your own team too. Okay? Now, what I'm also going to have Jim do is send you, and you've just created heartfelt, sincere, specific, scary goals. And if you got a yes, yes, hell no around all three, my whole commitment and focus and the commitment of Mission Driven Advisor is to help you accomplish that. That's what this year is about. You're completed last year. You know what you need to do, if anything, to complete it, and now we're co-creating the best year possible. The last piece I want to do is I've created an intention statement template for you. In it are 3 blanks. A money blank. You put in your yes, yes, hell, no profit goal. A helping families blank. You put in how many families, how many people you want to serve. You put in your people number there. And finally, a purpose blank. You put in your intention. This is your new year's intention statement. This is your homework. Okay? This is your homework. So that you go back in and you understand the action steps for this call I'm giving you spontaneously today. Okay? Number 1, if you didn't complete the 27 questions, do so. Number 2, listen to this call again. I taught you a master enrollment skill in yes, yes, hell, no today. The master enrollment skill is how to get people to align and make a good decision. How to make a good decision. They don't know. Okay? Now you do. Use it with yourself, use it with your team, use it with your clients. Number 3, your 3 purpose, people, and profit goals. And begin saying this as a new intention for this new year. Great job today, everybody. That's the end of today's call. I want to leave you with my wish for you for this year. May you, those you most love, people in your community who you've yet to meet but are about to serve, may all of you have the happiest, healthiest, health to you and your family and those you love, and wealthiest year of your life. Let's make it the best ever. Let's support each other in doing that. God bless you. Be well. Bye-bye.